purpose of my speech is to talk about etiquette. Etiquette is defined by Google as the customary code of polite behavior in society among members of a particular profession or group. My understanding of that definition is that etiquette sets rules, customs, and traditions to maintain control with behavior in any situation or in any environment with groups. I believe there is a rule for everything and how we should behave, speak, dress, eat, and act, especially when in the presence of others. For example, if you're invited to a party by someone you know, you expect the party to be um, of a certain way because you know the person that invited you behaves in a certain manner. If you were going to a party of an unknown person, it's questionable as to what to expect from that party. So you would, but again, because of etiquette, because you know that person, because of your interactions with that person, you most likely would go to that party. There was an article written by Paul R. That stated the creation of etiquette was during sometime around the 14th century by the French. Um, it was written rules for a social interaction between each other. The word etiquette is a French word for the word placard. According to Google, a placard is a poster or a sign for public display. Those who created the etiquette were said to be the French nobles. It is said that King Louis XIV used etiquette to secure his position or his place in politics. He would invite socialites to different parties and he would have them dress a certain way. They would have to be, they would have to speak in a certain mannerism. They would have to sit where he said. He would put placards all over the place to dictate how the party should go among the people, among the attendees. Fast forward in American history, we have adopted etiquette as to be as the original definition, a way to act, a way to behave, a way to treat each other. Um, it was translated by George Washington, who actually copied it from the Jesuits. Um, he copied them and as well as lived by them. He did this at a young age. His purpose, however, was a little different than the French for etiquette. Washington's purpose was quoted to proclaim the respect for others and in turn give us the gift of self-respect and heightened self-esteem. Which brings me back to the whole idea of the original etiquette was more about dictating how we should behave in certain atmosphere or environments. For instance, when we go to work, we can't behave as we do when we go outside and we're with our friends. There's a certain level of professionalism or work etiquette that we are to portray amongst each other while in that type of environment. As with everything through time, etiquette was changed, and some with each generation, as it had become watered down. People in society can say the things that we're not allowed to say in public and dress and behave in mannerisms that are just not becoming of people. For instance, this new style that we have of clothing that our younger generation are wearing. They have the pants that are dropped down below, uh, way below acceptable length. The skirts and the dresses that the girls are wearing seem a little bit more tighter, and we are not to judge those people based on what they wear, but usually in certain circumstances, you can tell because if a person dresses this way or behaves in this manner, then they are going to belong to a certain group of people that do the same thing, or they're going to be comfortable around those people that they're with to do those things that we dictate, or that the older generation would say that that's not acceptable. And the language that we use against each other, with each other, sometimes sounds negative and offensive. It's just, it doesn't have a place in certain circles. It doesn't have a place in a lot of circles, and that's just, um, etiquette is using the proper language, knowing what to say, when to say, and sometimes you can actually still be yourself while using proper etiquette. We're just saying, just don't be offensive. Social media etiquette is slightly different. We're using our computers. We're not face to face the majority of the time. We're on our phones, we're on our laptops, we're on any electronic device, but not face to face. But even still, social media have etiquette rules also. There are certain things as a content creator that you shouldn't be putting on the computer or on the internet, and there's things as a viewer that I can't post in question of what you put on the computer as a content creator on your website. Yeah, I mean, if I don't like it, of course, I don't have to view it. I don't have to thumbs up it. I don't have to like. I don't have to look at it. But at the same time, if it comes across my screen, and I do have an opinion of it, I can give an opinion, but I have to work well within certain guidelines. And places like YouTube, Instagram, they tell you, hey, this is a safe place. Be aware of what you're saying to the person be aware of how you're commenting on that person's screen. And sometimes I do type something. A lot of times I just go ahead and backspace it out because it's not going to make or break that person. Well, it might break that person. And in terms of etiquette, it might make them feel a little low, and it's just not unkind. I think etiquette is just practicing being polite and kind, and kindness should be free.